So the ministry is growing. That's a good thing. But now you need help. You've already tapped into your parents and other folks from your church. You've gone to community folks to try to get help from them. And you've gotten some help, but you're looking for a little bit more in the way of programming and discipleship and working with the students one-on-one. So where do you go? Well, why not look at interns? So we're going to talk about today right here on the Youth Worker Daily. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Youth Worker Daily, where we hope to encourage youth workers just like you with tools, tips, resources, and helps so that you thrive in your ministry. My name is Jay Hyam, and we are about to announce an exciting new venture for our student ministry. It's not really new in the sense that it's brand new. It's more so new because we've kind of given it a new look, a new approach, and this month we're going to introduce it as one of our leadership development programs here for our student ministry and here at our church, and that is the placement of interns. Quick backstory about interns themselves. For a number of years, our church here has used interns to help run our student ministry. And over the course of those years, wonderful students from our local colleges have come in and really put together a great way to keep our students connected and having fun and growing in their faith. The hard thing for that was the interns were the primary youth workers that the church used to make their programming happen. And what that means is, while we might get a number of really good interns, we only get them for a season of time. Because generally, the interns that we've brought in are people are students who have come to college. We have a couple local colleges in the area. They come into the area, they're here for 4 or 5 years, and then once they graduate, they're either heading back home or they're moving on to whatever career paths they are choosing. And so we have this rollover every couple of years of students coming in, spending 2-3 years with our students, and then rolling out. And so while we had great ministry, there was an inconsistency for our students. And I've talked with a number of students who are part of that program, and one of the things that I've always felt was, it seemed like, the interns, the college students, they were great and had great friendships, but at the end of their time at college, they graduated and moved on. And that's not a bad thing. I'm not condemning any of that. What I'm just saying is, when I think about interns and how I want them to impact my student ministry, I'm thinking a little different. I'm thinking a little more long-term in how we develop this program, how we encourage our interns, and how we build them up for success in their next steps of life. And so what I want to do is just take a few minutes today to talk a little bit about our internship program, what we are looking to do, and see how that might help you if you're thinking about interns, but also to then ask you, if you are using interns, what does your intern program look like? What are the features that you have included as part of your leadership development that you are incorporating into your internships? So let me first get started with just a general idea of an intern. There are all sorts of great definitions for what an intern is. In my mind, an intern is someone who has an interest in either student ministry or student education in some way, or an interest in just helping to walk alongside a student and disciple them in their faith. Someone who has those interests, who then gives of their time and resources to be a part of our program. And while they're doing that, not only are they helping us with the program itself, but we are also pouring into them. And we're going to unpack that in just a second. And so for me, as I think about interns, what I'm looking for is for young adults who are in that space where they want to come alongside a student. They want to come alongside our student ministry program, and they want to contribute. They want to contribute their time. They want to contribute their gifts, their resources, and really themselves to pour into our student ministry and our students' lives. Interns can be anything from a volunteer position to a paid position, but I think basically the idea is that as interns come and serve, not only are they pouring themselves out, but they're gaining experience, they're gaining learning, they're gaining training, they're gaining tools that they will then be able to use in whatever career path they are walking down. And so for education, a chance to be with students, a chance to lead, a chance to teach, a chance to help develop and program. These are all experiences that are then transferable to the classroom or to whatever other education system you're having. For those who are maybe interested more in student ministry itself, they're going to be able to be a part of our leadership team, and in doing so, they're going to have hands-on opportunities to help shape our program, help disciple students, lead our discipleship groups, be a part of activity planning, even to the point of leading worship, overseeing media, and even getting a chance to teach our students from the front of house when we get together in our student gatherings. And so all of those things produce for the intern this opportunity for them to learn, get some experience, build up their toolbox, and be able to say on a resume or in an interview, hey, I spent time learning these things, doing these things, applying these things, and so that's helped me better prepare myself for whatever job they are applying for. And of course, in their time of service, I have the chance to pour into them, share my experience, help coach them up and mentor them. And then when they are ready to move on, of course, give them a letter of recommendation saying, hey, this person, excels in this, this, and this, and would be a great fit for this. And hopefully what my internship program becomes is really a chance for young adults to see what student ministry looks like, stretch their wings a little bit, learn something that can be helpful for them, and then maybe launch into a career in student ministry or even student education, however that looks for them. So when I think about interns, that's kind of what I'm thinking about. I want to see a program that does those things. And so let me break those down a little bit here and share with you just a few thoughts about what I'm hoping for in our internship program that we will launch this month. First off, the goals. What are the goals that we have for our student ministry interns? Well, the goals are really twofold. We want them to pour into our program, help us in providing leadership, discipleship, accountability, small group leaders. We want them to come and engage with the students on Sunday mornings during the church services. We want to see them engaging on Tuesday nights during our student ministry. We want to see them showing up in the lives of the students in some way. We want to see them participating in our programs and our activities on a regular basis. That is what we are hoping from them. That's the first goal, that they plug in and become an active part of our leadership team. The second goal I have for our interns is that this is a time, a season for them where they are being discipled, where they are being mentored, where they are being coached, and they are seeing what it looks like to put together a student ministry program, lead a student ministry program, and pour into the lives of students. Like I said, we want to make sure our interns are getting something out of this so that they can then say to their future employer, here's what I've learned and what I know to do because of my intern time. So the first thing in my internship program is, what are my goals? And those are my primarily two goals there. The second thing I want to have is I want to make sure I have a job description. I want to spell out for those interns exactly what we are expecting from them and what we are hoping to provide them. And so we want to spell out what it looks like for them to engage our students. We want to make it very clear what we want from them in the way of participation and attendance. We want to make sure that we have clearly defined the parameters for which they're going to be working in. And then part of that job description is that we want them to have what it is that the church is going to provide for them. However that looks for your situation, we want to make sure that we are upfront and telling them what it is that they will be doing and what they're going to be receiving. So having a job description is super important. The third thing when it comes to doing internships for me is that we have a growth strategy. Now, just like a job description that explains in detail what we want or what we expect from the interns, we also want to make sure that our interns are growing. And so a growth strategy for me helps me to set some goals with the interns so that they're just not giving, but they're also receiving. And so for as much as we're going to lay out what the church is providing, we want to make sure that in that we are setting spiritual growth goals as well, and the personal growth goals, so that they are being mentored, they are being coached, and they are being cared for in a way that they're receiving something from their time here. And some of that's going to be just having their own personal goals for spiritual growth and for personal growth. Some of it's going to be goals that we set for them, like for instance, if there's someone who's in education or someone who's going into student ministry, we want to begin providing them with resources that will help them in their future roles, whether it be a teacher or a youth worker. And so providing them with books and setting up a reading schedule, and then having time to talk through those readings and develop those tools, like those are super important, and they're part of that growth strategy so that we know that our interns are growing as they are with us. And then we want to share the fourth part for me, that the thing that we'd like to share is our next step. And so we have a couple different ways of looking at our interns. I'm actually developing kind of like a 3-tier stepping stone program for our interns, because we want to not just bring interns in for a year or whatever. We want to bring them in and actually have them part of our program for a length of time that helps our program but also helps our interns. And so this multi-tier approach allows us to begin with just volunteer interns. And so what we're looking for is just students who are interested in education or youth ministry or working with students in some way, where we can say, hey, your first leg of this, the first tier is volunteer. Come and volunteer for a season or a quarter and just kind of see if this works for you. That keeps the expectations low, keeps the commitment low. We're not overwhelming them right off the bat with a lot of things that they have to do, because at this point it's a volunteer. And the only things that we really require for our volunteers is that they show up. And so that's kind of a simple, easy way of doing that. And so we want our volunteers to start easy, start simple, and then build as they go. So the first step in all this is it's our volunteer internship program. First tier. The next we'll move into a stipend role, where we will offer to pay a couple bucks per week, but in doing that, we're also asking them to kind of step up their responsibilities. And so where a volunteer may just show up on Tuesday nights and Sunday mornings just to hang out and be with kids, our stipend tier, the level 2 tier, is going to maybe ask them to take a small group or to pair up with 2 or 3 students so that they can do one-on-ones. And really the stipend is there to help cover their costs for fuel and for that time with that student. So we want to say, hey, meet up with your students, take them out for coffee, have some good conversation with them, do some discipleship with them. But knowing that they're college students, we don't expect them to foot the bill for those things. And so we want to take them to that next level. And in taking them to that next level, we're actually going to offer them the opportunity for them to do that work in a way that's not really taxing them as college students. The next level of our tier, our multi-tier thing, is to bring them in as a year-long intern. So volunteer, maybe a quarter, maybe a semester. Our stipend, you're looking at a school year. And then for our long term, we're looking for like a year-long commitment. It's a stipend role. It's a little bit more than what our level 2 would have, but also the responsibilities and expectations are increased with this one, where we want to see them doing a little bit more in our leadership team and taking some upfront leadership, whether it's leading worship or teaching or leading games or leading a Bible study. We want to see them kind of in that role of leadership where they're actually part of our leadership team and more than just showing up, more than just meeting for coffee. They're actually helping us run our program. And then the next and final step is actually in development still, but the goal is to be able to offer students who are seriously looking at youth ministry or student ministry as a career. We want to go ahead and offer them a 2-year fellowship where they are working here at the church, and they are part of our program in the sense where they are that first year really learning student ministry, and then the second year leading student ministry. We want to do a 2-year because I think a 2-year is a great place for someone to come in and spend some time and actually learn about youth ministry in that hands-on way, and then turn around that second year and step into leadership where they're actually leading, they're doing the work of student ministry. And then at the end of their 2 years, they've got 2 years of experience, they get recommendations from us, and they're set up to interview and then lead a potential youth ministry all on their own because they've had that time to be here, to shadow with us, to be coached by us, to be mentored by us, to be trained up by us, have actual hands-on experience leading our student ministry, and then off they go to pursue the call that God has put on their lives. So that's kind of my whole vision for interns, and this month we're going to be rolling that out and begin recruiting our interns for our spring and summer semesters, and even beginning to look towards fall and moving into the new year as we develop this internship program. So that's what we're doing. Love to hear what you are doing. Do you use interns? Are you interested in using interns? Have you used interns in the past? What's been the pros? What's been the cons? What materials have you used to help train and mentor and coach your interns? And what's been your process of moving interns so that they are actually growing in this calling that God has put on the heart of student ministry or working with students? So I'd love to hear from you on that. Leave those thoughts in the comments, and as always, make sure you check us out on the website, theyouthworkerdaily.com. There you'll find blogs, resources, all sorts of other things there to help you as you pursue this call of student ministry. And follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can look us up at YTH Worker Daily. That's the @ YTH Worker Daily. Love to have you as part of the conversation and love to reach out to you. All right, guys, that's going to do it for today. Thanks so much. Until we see you again, thanks for watching Youth Worker Daily.